Assalamu alaikum. I am Mohammad Jahangir Alam, lecturer in physics. I welcome you all in my online class. First of all, thanks to Almighty that He has given me the ability to take this class. I also hope all of you are well by the mercy of Almighty and carrying on your regular studies, staying at home. Dear students, today we are going to discuss two important creative questions from our chapter 4, that is third chapter of our physics, right? And the questions are the board exam question of 2020. Okay, right. Dear student, here is our first creative question, and the question is from Rajshahi Board 2020. And in the question, the STEM said that a water droplet of mass 1 gram falls on Earth's surface at a velocity of 15 meter from a height of 20 meter, overcoming air resistance. Right? A water droplet falls from a height of 20 meter from the Earth's surface, and the velocity at which the water droplet hits the ground is 15 meter per second. That is, the water droplet gained the velocity 15 meter per second after traveling a distance of 20 meter, and at the place acceleration due to gravity was 9.8 meter per second square. And our questions are: what is Vernier constant? Climbing hill is more difficult than the getting down from the hill. Explain. Determine the required time for droplet to reach the Earth's surface. And finally, mathematically show that the weight of the droplet is more than the air resistance. We know weight is one kind of force experienced exerted by the earth, and air resistance also a force. So we have to compare two force here. Now we are going to see the definition of Vernier constant. Right? Right. Here is the definition of Vernier constant. Vernier constant is the ratio of the smallest division of the main scale to the number of division present in the Vernier scale. We know in Vernier scale or in slide calipers there are two scales. One is main scale and another is Vernier scale. So if we divide the smallest division of the main scale by the number of division present in the Vernier scale, then we will get Vernier constant. So Vernier constant can be expressed as S divided by N. Here S is the smallest division of the main scale and N is the number of division present in the Vernier scale. Now we are going to discuss on the climbing hill is more difficult than getting down from the hill. Dear student, when you go up to the top of a hill, then you have to lift your body against the gravitational force. That is, so then you have to apply force by yourself to raise your body to the top of the hill, and the work is done against the gravitational force. But when you get down from the hill, then your body is replaced by the gravitational force. Okay, and here work is done by the gravitational force. So we can say that climbing hill is more difficult than getting down from the explain, because climbing hill is the work done against the gravitational force, and getting down will be perform an work which is done by the gravitational force, right? So climbing hill is more difficult than getting down from the hill, right? Dear student, now we are going to solve the mathematical problem. We have to determine the required time for the water droplet to fall on the Earth's surface. The water droplet starts its motion from 20 meter height, and at that time its initial velocity was 0. So initial velocity, which is denoted by u is equal to 0 meter per second, and final velocity when the water droplet hits the ground, it was 15 meter per second. It was 15 meter per second. So final velocity v is equal to 15 meter per second. It traveled a distance of 20 meter, right? So distance or height h is equal to 20 meter. So we have to calculate time t, right? So to solve this question, we have to use the expression we know H is equal to U plus V divided by 2 into T, or T is equal to twice into H divided by U plus V. Now using the value of this expression 2 into H means 20 divided by U 0 and V is equal to 15 meter per second, and after the calculation you will get 2.67 second. So this is the final answer for question C. Now we are going to solve our final question, that is mathematically we have to show that the weight of the droplet is more than the air resistance. So we have to calculate here the weight of the droplet and air resistance, right? So now we are going to calculate the weight of the droplet. Weight W is equal to mg, right? Here m of the, that is mass of the droplet, was 1 gram. Okay, so m is equal to 1 gram, that is 0.001 kg, and we know acceleration due to gravity g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square, right? So using the value of m and g, you will get m is equal to 0.001 into 9.8. So after the calculation you will get 9.8 into 10 to the power minus 3 Newton. This is the weight of the water droplet. Now we have to calculate the air resistance. That is, when the water droplet starts from 20 meter height, it travels 20 meter and gain a velocity of 15 meter per second. So in this path it maintain an uniform acceleration due to air resistance. So first we have to calculate the uniform acceleration at which the water droplet travel this distance, right? We know v square is equal to u square plus 2g. Here we are going to use acceleration a is, right? So here the final velocity of the water droplet was 15 meter per second, is equal to initial velocity of the water droplet was 0, 2 into a into h. H means 20 meter, right? So after the calculation you will get 225 is equal to 0 plus 40 a, or a is equal to 225 divided by 40, and after the calculation you will get 5.625 meter per second, right? This is the effective acceleration of the water droplet. So force on the water droplet, or effective force on the water droplet, was, now effective force on the droplets, if denoted by Fe. Fe is equal to ma. Here m is the mass of the water droplet and a is the effective acceleration. So m is equal to 0.001 multiplied by a is 5.625, right? So after the calculation you will get 5.625 into 10 to the power minus 3 Newton, right? So this is the effective force on the water droplet. Actually the weight of the water droplet was 9.8 10 to the power minus 3 Newton. If there is no air resistance, then the water droplet will feel this actual force, but due to the air resistance it will fit this force, right? So what is the air resistance? Now air resistance if denoted by F air, we can get it by subtracting the effective force from the actual weight, that is W minus Fe, right? So here W is equal to 9.8 into 10 to the power minus 3 minus Fe, effective force is 5.625 into 10 to the power minus 3 Newton. So after the calculation you will get 4.175 into 10 to the power minus 3 Newton. Dear student, this is the air resistance. So comparing these two value, the weight of the particle was 9.8 into 10 to the power minus 3 Newton, and the air resistance was 4.175 10 to the power minus 3 Newton. So we can say weight W is greater than F air, that is weight of the body is more than of air resistance, right? So I hope you got it. Now we are going to solve our next creative question, right? Dear student, here is our second creative question, and it's from Chattogram board 2020. Here are two figures represent the steam. In first figure, here is a smooth surface, over it there is a body indicated by M, and mass of the body is 20 kg. Here is a pulley and a weight of having mass 3 kg, and the weight is denoted by P, is connected with the body. This is figure 1, and in figure 2 there is a graph, that is velocity versus time graph of a moving body, right? So our first question is, what is balance force? Why it is difficult walking on muddy road? According to figure 2, that is according to figure 2, we have to determine the distance in first 20 seconds, right? And according to figure 1, analyze the effect of force on body M due to body P, that is what amount of force is applied by the body P on body M, or what will be the result or acceleration of the motion of the body M due to body P, right? Now we are going to see the definition of balance force. According to the definition of balance force, if the resultant of more than one forces is 0, then the forces are known as balance force. If we consider, here is a body, if we apply two force, first one is denoted by F1 and second one is denoted by F2, they are acting in the opposite direction, and the resultant of the two force is become 0, that is there is no displacement or acceleration of the body, then these two force F1 and F2 are known as balance force, right? Okay, dear student, now we are going to discuss our question B, why it is difficult walking on muddy road. You know, for your movement or your walking, for your running, friction with the road and on foot is required. Without friction we cannot move properly. So in muddy road the friction become less. So it is difficult to walk or run over a muddy road, right? I hope you got it. Now we are going to solve the mathematical problem. According to figure 2, determine the distance in 20 seconds. So according to figure 2, we have to calculate the distance traveled in 20 seconds. Dear student, here the characteristics of the motion change after first 10 seconds. In first 10 seconds, the body moves with an uniform acceleration. That is, the changes of the velocity increases or raises from 0 to 15 uniformly. So here the acceleration is uniform, but for next 10 seconds, from 10 to 20 seconds, the body moves with a uniform velocity, that is the velocity maintained at 15 meter per second. So we have to calculate the distance in two parts. First portion from 0 to 10 seconds, right? So distance traveled in first 10 second if denoted by S1. S1 is equal to U plus V divided by 2 into T1, right? So U means U, that is initial velocity for the first 10 second is 0 plus final velocity for the first 10 second is 15 divided by 2 multiplied by 10, and after the calculation you will get 75 meter. Distance traveled in next 10 second if denoted by S2. It will be calculated using the formula V into T2, because next 10 second the body moves with uniform velocity, and V means 15 meter per second multiplied by 10 meter or 150 meter. So total distance S is equal to S1 plus S2, 75 plus 150 meter, and it will be 225 meter. This is the final result for question C. Now we have to analyze the effect of the force due to the P body on body M. Here the situation describes that the weight of the body, that is a force, weight, we know weight is a force, the force exerted on body M is equal to the weight of the body P, right? So we have to calculate the effect of the weight or force exerted by P body on M. So first we have to calculate the weight of the body which is acting on body M. Weight of body P, right? So W is equal to mg. Here m is the mass of the body is 3 and g is 9.8 Newton, right? So 29.4 Newton. This force is acting on body M. So if the acceleration of the body M due to the force of 29.4 Newton, then so we can write that applied force of a body is the product of mass and acceleration. Then we can write F is equal to m prime a. Okay, so a is equal to f divided by m prime. Here f is applied force due to the body P. So force value of force is 29.4, and m prime being mass of the m body 2 kg. So after the calculation you will get 14.7 meter per second square, right? Therefore A is equal to 14.7 meter per second square. So this is the result for question D. From this we can say that the body denoted by m will move with an acceleration of 14.7 meter per second square, right? Dear student, I hope you got it. So you need to practice this type of question for your next upcoming exam. So good wishes for all of you. Thank you very much being with me in my class. May Allah bless all of you. Assalamu alaikum.